Georgia Bulldogs have won the national championship in 2021 and 2022. Now they're getting ready for the 23 season. That starts with spring, which is literally right around the corner. Matt DeBerry, Dean Legge, and Ryan Curley again. Another edition of Riding Home. Matt, what is the number one thing you're looking for in spring ball at Georgia?
Seeing who replaces guys like Stetson Bennett, Keely Ringo, Jalen Carter, so on and so on. Seeing if any new wide receivers are able to step up. Just seeing how connected they are. They talked about connection all last year. What is the theme going into this spring and their quest for a three-peat, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, that's to me, that's the simple answer is just seeing like they just came off back-to-back national championships. A lot of guys stayed for the second run that could have left early, at least a handful of guys, and they're gonna replace a quarterback that went and was the Heisman Trophy finalist, was MVP of 5 postseason games if you count, I think, this past year's SEC championship. So it's turnover program, new offensive coordinator. I think that the obvious answer is who's replacing Stetson and how different does the offense look with a new quarterback and a new coordinator.
Well, one of the questions that Ryan discussed earlier this week was with us. We've not really written about it, but we can talk about it real quick. I talked about it earlier. How close is this competition going to be? I will start with Ryan. I think we all three assume that Carson Beck is in pole position here, but there's a lot we still don't necessarily know. We don't know what Mike's going to be like, Mike Bobo as the coordinator. We don't know, and quarterbacks coach. We don't know what Brock Vandagriff has done over the last 3 to 4 months. We've really not seen a lot of him. We don't know what it's been like for Gunnar Stockton. We've really not seen Gunnar throw since G Day in a game. Is that right? So Ryan, what do we know and what do we not know here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really know the distance between them as
Right.
far as who's winning this job. And I think that's something that can clearly change over the next few months, right? I mean, spring hasn't even started. I mean, they're just working out right now. They'll have a little bit of stuff summer and then they'll have a little fall before the season starts. I think just obviously from what we've seen in the last couple of years, it seems like Carson Beck is clearly in the lead. He was without a doubt the QB2 last season. And there was a second where we thought he was JT Daniels' QB2 at the beginning of 2021. And he's been in the program the longest. He knows the concepts the longest. I don't know how much really changes with verbiage and play calling when you go from Munkin to Bobo. I don't know how much will change. There's no way it's 100% the same thing. But, when it works, it works. So I don't think it'll be drastically different. He's the least mobile of the three. He just is. I don't know how much that matters. I mean, you see more and more in the sport how much a mobile quarterback matters, whether it's just someone who can get out of the pocket quick or someone who can take off downfield. He's the worst of those three, but I think he probably has the most polished arm at this point, just from what we've seen.
Matt?
Yeah, I think he has the strongest arm that we've seen. This is year 4. When guys are on campus, the same campus, right, for 4 years, even with another offensive coordinator, he gets it. He knows what he's supposed to do in spring. I think he's building some of those leadership traits. He's got a strong arm, and from everything I'm hearing, it's going to be tough for Brock Vandagriff to overtake Carson Beck for that starting job. So I'm interested to see if Gunnar, takes command and earns the backup job, the number 2 job. So as talented as all three are, I do think it's Carson Beck's job to lose. I have an eye on left tackle as well. How do you replace Broderick Jones? Do you insert someone new there? Do you move Amarius Mims from right to left? There's a lot going on. You have to replace, both tackle spots, and it'll be interesting to see, like you said, how the offense changes. I don't think it's going to change very much, but Mike Bobo knows what he's doing, and he's got a plan in place, and he knows the talent that he has around him. He knows the players on this team already. It's not like he's just stepping back to Athens. He's been around this program for a little bit. He knows what he has to work with, and he's got plenty of receivers on the outside. You've always got Brock Bowers there as a safety outlet. I'm excited to see, how he takes all these pieces of this puzzle and, turns it into an offense that I think is going to be very, very good again. We could talk about this in another video, but I'm not sure it's going to be better than last year's team that put 50 in the state championship, scored 80 something points, 90 in the national championship game. Can't remember, but it's going to be a very good offense. Because again, I think Mike Bobo knows what he's doing, and he's got an experienced quarterback who is ready to show the world what he can do. This is a money year for Carson Beck, and I think he's going to take full advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's plenty of truth to that. I think one person, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Ryan, was talking about how the verbiage is probably going to. I think the verbiage changes or is tweaked slightly every single year. So I don't think that that's necessarily problematic for what they're getting themselves into. I think to some degree, and I talked about this the other day, particularly with Jalen now in the spotlight so much because of what happened off the field. You know, where do they go away? You know, how do they recover Georgia from not having Jalen Carter, because he was really really important for them. And I think they have the players collectively to deal with that. I'm not sure they have an individual player. I think Bear Alexander looked good last year. Um, but I'll go to Ryan. I don't mind the secondary at all. I think they have a very good secondary, but you are losing more for me than anyone, Christopher Smith, and you also lose Keely Ringo, who is extremely gifted. What are we looking at there on the secondary?
Yeah, I mean, Keely Ringo is one of the most gifted, I think, secondary players ever, just from an athletic standpoint, and that's probably going to get proven here over the next few days. But Christopher Smith was, he was a locker room guy. He was a guy that worked from being deep on the depth chart to being an All-American, a guy that was in huge moments. I mean, both of those guys were in some of the hugest moments, were the hugest moments. I mean, Christopher Smith, pick six against Clemson. That's the deciding play in that game.
Yeah.
The blocked field goal recovered in LSU. I mean, a huge moment. He big hits against big teams. I mean, he came out with a bang against Oregon. Had a great game. So you have Malachi Starks. You have, I think, a guy like David Daniels going to play a lot in the transfer portal. You got Smoke Bowie from Texas A&M, a really talented guy. They have the talent. It'll be a less experienced group, though. Tyke Smith, Javon Bullard. It'll be interesting to see how they maybe move the pieces around now that some of them are gone.
Hey, by the way, I was just showing. I don't think Ryan has seen this layout.
I haven't seen any of it.
Okay, well, if you don't know, we're still the book printing has taken a little longer than I would have liked. I'll tell you that right now. But you can still get confetti. When I was looking for if you order Double Dogs today, just for a very quick story, Matt said, "Oh, I need a charger." What is it, a charger? No, you needed a
card reader.
Card reader, and I was like, okay, I can go grab you one. And there was a bag of confetti in there, man. It was still wet too.
Classic.
How about that? Anyway, this is a look at the book real quick. This is the exact play that that Ryan was talking about and captured. And look how
a 300 lens, man.
Oh, that was a 300. Okay, now that makes sense to me now. I was like, why is this image not that, why is it so grainy? I got confetti falling from the sky on me here. Yes, now that makes sense. Ah, golly. Anyway, so anyway, that's what it looks like. What I was going to say, it's crazy though, man, the way that you were positioned there, that they were exactly, now some of this is very good editing on my end, but they could not have been in different spaces, but Chris had the brain, and always has had the brain, to pick that ball up and go. And I think those spots are the biggest positions to concern themselves about. But very quickly, Matt, Jack Pinesley has been an exceptionally good kicker for them, and they've got to find a new one now.
Yeah, they've got their punter, and Brett Thorson. We saw what he can do. Got to be a little more consistent.
Yes.
But when he's right, still have the kicker. But I can't think of a game where they lost the game because of a kick, right? I don't know if I froze up there or anything like that.
Did.
But special teams is always okay, of course, classic. Special teams has never been a real issue under Kirby Smart. Maybe I'm frozen again, but they gotta.
You're like, it's like a Disney
No,
film.
you're not frozen.
You're not
You're not
frozen.
just,
You're like Olaf. You're not full blown. You know, you're not Elsa.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not. Real quick, I know Ryan talked about the secondary. I just want to give props to Kamari Lassiter. I'm done.
No, you're
done.
good. That was
Done.
so funny though.
I'm done.
frozen. It's not.
No, you were good. Kamari Lassiter, wrap it.
Kamari Lassiter, one of the more underrated defensive backs in college football going into next season. He's big time to me. So he's going to bring back some toughness and more experience to that secondary.
Hey, make sure that you're checking the book out. The link is down below. Thanks for watching Riding Home.